So that's my dog, and for some bizarre reason, my dog really hates crosses. I don't know if my dog is demon possessed, but I've never seen a dog that's afraid of crosses, so there must be something to it. I wish I could say I was joking, but I'm not. So today's video is going to discuss a very deep, hard subject to talk about, and that is, are narcissists demon possessed? There's probably no one on earth better equipped to answer this question than me. If you allow me to be a little narcissistic, I don't think anyone could give you this answer the way that I can. And as far as I know, most therapists are unable and unwilling to discuss the spiritual side of narcissist abuse patterns, and I have real proof to support my theories here. These are real experiences with my story. So I'll start the video out by just saying that for me and my story, how I remember I've been for a majority of my life, I would have these, I guess, angels and devils, you could call them, on my shoulder. So before I'm about to do something that I know isn't right, there's a voice in my head that guides me to these patterns to do things. So for me, when I hear the voice, it's a parental figure, mostly my mother, but it doesn't quite sound like my mother. This voice has very strict patterns that, if I follow, completely line up with NPD. So here's an example. I had a girlfriend and we were pretty serious. We had discussed marriage and all these things like that, but I ended up cheating on her. There was a desire to cheat on this person that came from self-talk. That voice in my head had explained there's no reason to be faithful because you're too young to settle down, and what she doesn't know won't hurt her. Even though I knew it was wrong, I know it's wrong, but there was a need and desire to follow these instructions. Now, does that mean I'm demon possessed? I'm not so sure. But there was a voice that told me to do these things, and they were clearly wrong. But here's another example to support this. I covered this on my channel here in a video called Real Witch Story. But I remember being young and seeing my mother's black demonic eyes as a child. These memories stayed with me most of my life. It was so traumatic because she didn't look like my mom, with her screaming and raging at me, her black demon eyes, and she looked like a demon from another dimension. I could still hear her voice in my head all these years later, and that is the actual voice that tells me the wrong things to do. All right? So there are many reports of victims of narcissistic abuse seeing black demon eyes in their partners. So what are we supposed to make of this? The internal voice of a narcissist guiding them along the patterns of abuse, gaslighting, jealousy, rage, cheating, domestic silence. Where does this come from? Well, we must believe that it is not the voice of anything good in the universe, definitely not the voice of God, so we can only conclude that there must be evil intentions, possession to a degree. Well, maybe not full-blown demonic possession, but perhaps narcissists are guided through evil entities and forces. So to me, the feeling of being guided and instructed on things to do, evil things, makes more sense than being full-blown possessed by a demon. So it appears the devil is the puppeteer, the voice that guides me to cheat, guides me to lie to my partners, the voice that tells me I'm entitled to anything that I want from a partner, even if I'm not. So, are narcissists demon possessed? I would say no, but hear me out. They are definitely demon guided. See, a full-blown possession means that a narc would be 100% evil, and while they are capable of doing evil things, I wouldn't classify a narcissist as pure evil, although I guess victims of narc abuse probably would, and I understand that. In my opinion, a fine example is P. Diddy. With all the crimes he's committed, and He's even been on video chasing a woman down a hotel hallway, displaying domestic violence. However, with everything that he's done, he's sick, but is he really pure evil, 100% possessed? So, there is a devil teaching and guiding the narcissist on what to do. But as the devil is pulling the strings on the puppet, is there any free will? Yes. I believe a narc can definitely change for the better. See, once I made the choice a few years ago to stop listening to those sinister urges and voices, it sparked a change for the better. So we obviously know through Christ, we can all live better lives. We have the ability to overcome anything. Now in my video, we've seen a couple things. We've discovered that there might be a demonic aspect to narcissistic abuse, a sinister voice that guides the narcissist. However, this is easily defeated by disregarding the sinister voice guiding the narcissist can make that choice. However, if you believe the demonic entities that guide the narcissist, then you must believe in God and goodness as well, because we all know the world is not 100% evil. And if there's good in the world, we can oppose the forces from the dark side. That's obvious. Now, we can admit there are demonic forces. We can also admit that there is a Holy Spirit as well. We have to look at this like we look at a coin. There are two sides. When you look at a coin, you believe that you only see tails. However, if you flip it over, there has to be heads. You cannot believe in one without the other. You cannot believe in demonic forces and disbelieve in everything good or anything good, because I don't know how you could believe in the dark side without believing in the light and the Holy Spirit. So therefore, logically speaking, if you believe that narcs are possessed by these evil entities, then you have to believe they can be overcome. So as following Christ has shown, that's a factual thing. Years ago, I stopped listening to the sinister voice and chose Christ. I'm in a much better place now, happier, more at peace. So, while we can agree that maybe narcs are possessed by evil traits, they are weak, guided from the dark side, but there's still hope. There's still light left for the narcissist if they choose to see this. There is hope for you. There is hope for everyone. For anything that is unholy or ungodly does not stand a chance in this world with the power and belief in Jesus Christ. This means we have nothing to fear. Now, as a young child, my mother showed me dark demonic eyes. I cover that in a video here called Real Witch Story. It's about her being overcome by these demonic entities, showing me black demonic eyes, and at times she didn't even look like my mother. She scared the crap out of me as a kid. Now, if you would have asked me at the time, I would have said, yes, she's possessed by the demon 100%. But then my birthday rolled around, and what did my mother do? She didn't have any money, but somehow she scrounged up enough change to put together a giant birthday cake for my birthday. So there you have it. If someone is possessed by a demon or possessed by the devil, they won't have the capability to scrounge around for the last amount of money they have to bake their son a beautiful cake, and that's what my mother did. So I think I provided a clean, clear-cut answer. Are narcissists possessed? No, but they are guided by the devil. Again, someone that is possessed by the devil would be incapable of making anything good in this world, much less a birthday cake. Now, with that knowledge, it should give you some hope that narcs are capable of change. But are they likely to change? It is improbable. It could take years for them to change. I don't know if you want to wait around for that. So I hope that answers the question on possession at least. But I also hope you don't think that you could stay in a narcissistic relationship because there's hope for them to change. But we know, again, anything is possible through Christ. A narcissist would have to go to therapy and they would have to learn how to consciously ignore the internal voices that are guiding them to perform evil acts. This is not a habit that can be developed overnight either. So maybe I scared you off because most people wouldn't want to be around a partner that might be guided from the dark side. So you think you can overcome that by being the voice of reason. It may not be possible. Because you have to remember that the first and only voice a narcissist hears is the sinister one that whispers in their ears. This voice will always be first. So in order for a narc to change, they must first admit that they have to change. This could be almost impossible because the voice tells them everyone else is to blame. All right, so that'll do it for this video. Thanks for watching. God bless you. Please like the video and subscribe. If you have questions, leave them in the comment section.